When you have a breast tumor or you have fibrocystic breasts, why? What's going on here? Well, my sister had it, my mother had it, and everybody's having it in my family. But what are they having? Cancer is not genetic. Cancer as damaged cells are not genetically passed. Cancer, the disease word, diseases aren't genetically passed. They're illusionary concepts of allopathy. What is passed is the consciousness or the awareness of each and every cell. Talk about creation and the way the all steps down into individualized pieces like you and me and the horses and the cows. You look at that in the terms of cells and how each generation sets up a more limited expression, a more, I don't know how to put this, because each generation of cells gets its thinking from the last. So when you look at man's lifestyles and look at what man's eating, he's eating way off of his nature. He's a frugivore, a islander, living in northern climates, eating high-protein diets. Let's say you've been diagnosed with a cancer. What actually have you been diagnosed with? What actually is going on there in terms of science that is verifiable? Not junk science, verifiable science. What's going on? Well, we know that your breast tissue is nothing but a bunch of cells with blood and lymph supplying and supplying. Blood and lymph, what's the journey of blood and lymph in the human body? The two major fluids of the human body. Bunch of cells and two major fluids. Bunch of cells and two major fluids. That is very simplistic. Can't get much simpler than that. Here your little edema, different fluids, form this. The lymph forms in different type of fluids. Synovial fluids, your viscous fluids of the eye. There are minor fluids of the body. Most of them are more lipid-based, more like lymph. Why? Protection. Because dehydration is easy to set into the human body when acids that you're creating from all your activities are not being removed through the lymphatic system. So when you understand that your body's just a bunch of cells that need to eat and need to poop, and that your job is to keep blood flowing to all the cells and keeping the lymph moving the sewage away from the cells. So the key factors in health and vitality is digestion, absorption, utilization, which is your endocrine glands, Marina, and then elimination. Because of the types of food that we've been ingesting, it has broken down our digestive tract. It has filled the bowels with mucoid plaque, both on and in, which would be lymph stagnation. We have dropped the adrenals, we have dropped the thyroids, we have dropped the parathyroids, we have dropped the pituitaries, so our hormones and steroids for utilization, for activity is low, so therefore we don't utilize our nutrients if we do digest and absorb them. And then of course, because of the types of foods man has been eating, particularly high proteins and dairy products, we have no bowels or kidneys left. So now we're struggling to get our eliminative organs, including the skin, our eliminative organs to eliminate properly. It's either you're having a tough time with poop or you're having a tough time with pee. These are the wastes produced by the body. One digestive waste, one cellular waste. So when you talk about cancer, you're simply talking about cells that have been damaged by acids. Outside of that, it's inflammation because it's extracellular. When you have extracellular acidosis, meaning outside of the cell, that's interstitial. That's the lymph fluids. That dehydrates, that causes inflammation, pain, the sucking of calcium out of the tissues and joints, and also the plaquing of cholesterols. And if you'll look, this is the whole process to every disease out there, except man has to blame God for everything. His stupidity takes him into the realm of blaming the Creator. You bacteria, you bad boys, you fungus, you bad fungus, and you've got all the virals. When you don't understand the simplicity of the way God must run its creations, then you would blame these kind of little fellas. So it's enough to say that when you're talking about family history of cancer, you're talking a family history of lymphatic problems. But when you're talking about when we use the C word, when we use the cancer word, or they do, it means now the acids that were external to the cell is now building up in the cell, damaging or mutating the functionability of that cell, whether it's the chromosomes, the DNA, who cares what part of the cell. What organs of the cell are damaged, because it's the same thing internally as it is externally, except that for a while cells are able to poop external to themselves. They're able to eliminate through the cell wall wastes that are produced inside the cell. When the lymph is so saturated around cells that you're not moving that well because your kidneys stop filtering, what you have is an accumulation, which you can simply use the word constipation. This is why I coined the term interstitial, meaning around the cells, lymphatic, meaning the lymph fluids, constipation, meaning that fluid isn't moving anywhere fast. So as acids build, dehydration sets in because you're burning your electrolytes to try to bring this into a pH balance, into a base balance. So you're going to burn your electrolytes in that process. If there are more acids than there are electrolytes, guess who wins? This is why you see your urine initially turn alkaline, because you're basically scuffing off your electrolytes until this huge process of hydration takes place. It is important that you understand why. You don't pull the fear thing like Angela Jolie, who says, take them both. My family's there. That's stupid. It shows you the fear. It shows you the good job the AMA has done to infiltrate this world with fear and to be able to make the money they do in the processes they do. It's unfathomable. But you know that all this is a direct relationship to dietary habits and genetic weaknesses as a result of those dietary habits. So when you take a look at that and you change all that, you go back and you regenerate the weaknesses, fix the genetic weaknesses, regenerate that, clean out all the acids, hydrate interstitially, get the kidneys filtering, get the adrenals up. So remember, the adrenals produces 24, 25 corticosteroids that are involved in mineral utilization.